Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
everybody. Happy Friday. As you can see, we
Yay!
have our guest here. Everybody, let's go ahead and welcome Brian from Goes Carnivore. Welcome, Brian. How are you
Thank
doing this
you.
Friday?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I am happy it's Friday. I'm sure with any other full-time working person in the chat and anyone that has a busy week, because Cindy definitely has a busy schedule
I
aside
just
from her
keep
not
busy.
working
It's
full-time.
like,
Yes. So I'm sure she can appreciate the weekend ahead as well.
yes.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and say hello to some in the chat that have joined us. Here we have Uncle Big Guy. Howdy all. Are
This is
well.
Arden.
Yes, this is Arden. Thank you so much for being here, Arden. I hope you had a really great week. Are you home as of yet? Because I know sometimes when you come in, you're making your way home. Here we have Keto Simple, Dustin. Happy Friday, everyone. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Sana, Wick, and
Dust.
Chad. I'm back home again in Indiana. Still worn out, though. Yes,
I bet you are.
Disney will definitely do that to you, especially with all the walking you do at Disney and all the properties. Yes, it definitely wears you out, but definitely super fun. Here, Brian is letting everyone know hello, all. We'll be starting soon. Here we have D. Lee. This is
Donna.
Donna. Hello, Donna. Happy Friday to you. Thanks so much for being here. We have Mike. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Friday. Donna saying happy Friday, everyone. Yes, I'm super excited for Friday. Definitely here for it. Former fat girl Nicole, what's happening all? Hello, Nicole. Thanks for being here. Happy Friday. Michelle, hello. Here we have Brenda. Hello, tribe. Yes, TGIF. Absolutely. Here we have Becky, Keto Virgonian. Happy Friday. Yes, I am definitely down with that. Happy Friday. Joyce Butler. Hello, everyone. Hello, Joyce. Thank you so much for being here. Here we have Twin Maples, Carnivore Homestead. Happy Friday. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Sigma Carnivorous. Hello from Indianapolis. Welcome. We have a bunch saying hello to one another. Here we have Cindy. She went ahead and shared Brian's channel and chat. So most definitely, if you are not aware of his channel as of yet, go ahead and head on over. Give him some love in the form of a sub. We definitely would appreciate that. Here we have Overcoming Carbs. Hi, Brian, Sana, and Cindy. Hello.
Hi,
Welcome.
Ron.
Hello, Sana and Cindy.
Hello.
Here, Arden. Hi, Cindy and Sana. At a stop 20 minutes from home. Safe travels to you, Arden. Nicole is saying, I have a live stream with Dave Mack in 30 minutes and football. My Eagles play Sunday. How about you, Becky? So, are those fighting words for you, Brian, when she mentions the Eagles? What is your
No,
team?
no, my team actually is the Detroit Lions. So I grew
Oh,
up
okay.
I grew up in the Midwest in Toledo, Ohio. So even though I live in Virginia near DC, I'm not really a Washington fan. I I, I guess they're the gosh, I can't remember what are they called now. They're not the Redskins anymore. What are they called? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Commanders. Yeah, they're the Commanders now. I'm not really a big Washington fan though. I'm a Lions fan, so I'm used to losing as a Lions fan.
We're getting into some football chat because Brian and Greg that we had, what has it been, 2 weeks ago? They do on Thursday nights, they do some football chat as well as some chat that involves the proper human diet. So we definitely like to kind of see who's on what side of the teams. But good luck, Nicole, on your stream with Dave. It is going to be super fun. We'll definitely have to catch the replay. Here we have I am Jazzy Jude. Happy Friday from San Diego. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Here we have Lynn, 22Q Cat. Hi, Sana, Cindy, and all. It's
Hi, Lynn.
Friday. Yes, we are super happy about it being Friday. Twin Maples is saying just put 6 huge pieces of pork on the smoker. Cating a wedding tomorrow for local homesteaders. They raise their own piggies and chickens for the big day.
Nice.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And then when you kind of put that little bit of addition that they raised it on their own, wow, that's definitely good quality eating right there.
Wow.
Thank you, Nicole. Hey, hey, showing love in everyone's chat. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Sigma Carnivores is now sub to you, Brian. Thank you so much. It is
Thanks.
much appreciated. Joyce Butler, are you going to Friendsgiving in Clearmont? So I am not sure as of yet. I did send an email to ask for additional details um, because it's definitely hours away from us. So I will definitely let you know, Joyce. If you want to shoot me an email, that way you and we can kind of touch base on it. Thank you so much, Donna. She's reminding everyone to hit the thumbs up button. That way we can get some attention to the stream. Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you. Becky, I will be on the Carnivore Backwoods live tomorrow and really, really, really need to go grocery shopping. I know it is definitely difficult to basically have the balance of personal life, especially when you are a content maker as well. Dustin, yes, there is a lot in Indianapolis in attendance today in the chat, so definitely a lot of representation. Here, Nicole, love live, same thing. Yes, definitely all these lives definitely bring a lot of togetherness. So yes, I agree. Same, same. Brian is often depressed. Is that an inside joke between you and Ron or something?
I don't know. I joke around so much that I can't remember. So
You can't keep track
it
of the inside
probably
jokes,
is.
right?
It probably is, and I don't remember, but I'm sorry, Ron.
Because you certainly don't look depressed to me. You're smiling. Here we have B Dog, who is Brenda. Hey guys, welcome, Brenda. We got some laughs here off of that. Twin Maples, I have yet to see a game this year, just not into the game much anymore. I used to root for the Ravens. Oh, here we have some more talk. My Steelers won last night against the Titans. Woo. Well, I'm happy you had a win for your team. That's really cool. Welcome back home, Dustin. You've been gone forever. Here, I love football. I'm Texas Aggie fan. Yeah,
Texas
I want to say
A&M.
yeah, because yeah, that is yeah, those are some serious fans right there. There's a lot of serious fans with different teams, but yeah, A&M, uh-huh. Yes. Yeah, Sigma, if you want to send me an email, I can get that information to you. Just shoot me an email and I can definitely direct you to where that information is at. Here, Nicole, she's trying to do some recruiting, switch over to the Eagles. Mike, I have a live with Kirsty in an hour and 24 minutes. Good luck. I have a live coming up with her this month as well. We did have her on, and she is just a joy to have.
Yep.
Lynn Wright, it felt great to get away, but it's so good to be back. Yes, there is definitely no place like home for sure. Seahawks, hashtag, just saying. Looks like you had an amazing vacation. Yes. So
Maybe
if
just a lot
everyone
of
is
talking back and forth
curious,
now.
yeah, if anyone's curious, Keto Simple did go on vacay to Orlando. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Disney content that's going to be shared coming up. So definitely you can give him a sub. That way you can kind of be in the loop. Goals, I have 2 big pigs in the backyard laying hens and 4 sheep eggs and red meat. Oh my goodness, wow. I'm telling you that homestead life is definitely goals for anyone on the proper human diet. And here, Nicole St. Brian is 91 subs away from 1K. Let's show some love. That would be awesome if we can accomplish that for you come next week. That would be amazing. Yes, Joyce, I will keep a lookout for that. Thank you so much for the support. Here, Brian, Thanksgiving, Saturday after Thanksgiving.
So what actually is Friendsgiving? I don't know.
It's a
So
meetup.
it's
It's
a
a local
meetup
meetup.
that people basically there's ones that would be, like the host within the community. But there are different meetups that are going on within the community, depending on basically who took charge or who partnered together to take charge to be the host. But there is a site, Low Carb Events, that some of them are posted on. So that's definitely a good resource if anyone's trying to see what events are possibly local to them to participate in. Low Carb Events is a really good site to be able to kind of see everything organized in one spot, one place. Ron is a
Okay.
Detroit
So
Lions fan. Go
I
ahead.
think I think that Twin Maples is in Virginia, so that must be why she's asking me. There must be one in Virginia, and I'm not aware of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let us know. Let us know if that's what it is because I know some report to low carb events. That way it can kind of be in one central located place that everyone knows of within the community. But some are definitely not on there. Some are just word of mouth, or they might set up like a group kind of thing on Facebook for everyone to know about.
Hmm. Oh, so Ron is not actually a Detroit Lions fan. He's saying that I'm depressed because I'm a Lions
Because
fan.
you are one.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If I remember correctly, I think he's a Cowboys fan. I could be wrong on that, but I think he's a Cowboys fan. Yeah. So yeah, the Lions have never played in the Super Bowl, so it's been kind of rough. But one of these days, years,
I hear
hopefully I'll still
you.
be alive.
You never know. Sometimes the underdog, sometimes they surprise everyone.
Yeah.
Here we have Becky asking you, Brian, did you ever track protein/fat ratio?
So I don't really track it. What I do is I use the Dr. Anthony Chaffee method. If if my bathrooms are too runny, right, then I'm
Right.
probably getting a little bit too much fat and I can cut back a little bit. Or if it's a little bit harder to go, and not necessarily that I just don't go in a day because, eating this way, you might not go for a couple days and that's just natural because there's not a lot of waste. But if it's a little bit harder, then I know I need to increase a little bit of fat. And that's really the only way I do it. I don't really track anything in terms of ratios and I don't track calories or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm very much the same. I think that's the beauty of this is the simplicity that you don't have to track. And I do it the same way. I listen to my body. So that's pretty much what you're speaking on behalf of is listen to your body, being in tune with your body of what exactly it's telling you. Because it will let you know, if you're having too much of a good thing. What about you, Cindy?
I
Do you
pretty
track
much
it all?
track all the time. I usually do. I've done it for 3 years. It's like second nature. It's like the last couple this past week I really haven't,
Yeah.
but I will. I will go back because that way I can go back. If something happens, I can go back and say, what was I eating that I was successful? If I start
Right.
gaining or not feeling right or something like that, I feel like I've got that history to go back to and say, okay, this is what you were doing right.
Yeah.
Your butt
And
back
that's
in the
great.
groove.
Yes, that's great because it's something that's been working for you. So it's kind of, that mentality, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. So
Right.
no, absolutely. Oh, Cindy, I'm missing my keto chow November 16th. The first thing I'm going to do is make a butter beer. Yes, I've
Yes,
definitely
I
seen
already
the
responded
excitement.
to her. I
I've
don't
seen the
blame her.
excitement.
I would be missing it. Sorry, she's doing beef, butter, bacon, and eggs right now with Two Crazy Ketos, I believe.
The triple beanie, yep.
You're in
Mm.
mid-November.
Running top 12. Good day, Brian.
Hey.
Lynn just subscribed to you as well. You'll get to
Oh,
1K soon. I definitely feel the
thanks.
same.
Thank you.
I'm
Here,
putting them
Ron.
all up there.
My hometown Rangers won their first World Series.
Yep. Texas Rangers. Yep. That was great.
Twin Maples. Thanksgiving is mostly a family thing. We are cooking half hog and inviting bunches for our Friendsgiving. It is not for carnivores exactly, just friends of whatever folks we gather for a party. Oh, that's awesome, though.
Mm.
Dr. Chafee has been awesome and everywhere lately. Yes, I'm definitely happy that he's getting the attention that he is because he's just another healthcare professional in the community that puts things in simple terms. Just like the other professionals in the community we all know, like Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Tony Hampton, Dr. Westman, they just put things in such simple terms and they just leave out all the medical jargon that a lot of times people tune out of.
Mm.
But no, I definitely I appreciate him and I'm glad he's getting the attention he deserves. They came here when I was 2 years old. Oh wow. I found ground beef for $2.99 per pound and froze that into balls for fast cooking. Picked up about 15 pounds and got it frozen. Beef balls and eggs for breakfast. Yum. That is a good price at $2.99 per pound. And that's the way to do this. I know a lot of people think the carnivore way of eating or just a proper human diet way of eating in general is expensive. It does not have to be if you do not allow it to be. Stick with the simplicity, shop the sales. Hello, Susie.
Hey,
Thank you
Susie.
so much for being here. Happy Friday. Here we have Brenda, sub to you as well, the Houston Astro fan. So it was a tough, rough end of the season. I
Twin
am
Maple is
not.
questioning butterbeer up a couple
Oh,
comments.
here, right
Two
underneath.
Crazy
Yeah.
Ketos put up a video about butterbeer made with butterscotch keto chow. So you have to check out their channel and that video. But that's
Yes.
what the
That way
butterbeer comes from.
yeah, you'll be able to get the visual recipe being
Yes.
taught to you. Here, Nicole, I'm a Phillies fan. We were up and then we weren't. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
10 Maples. We are east coast of Virginia, about an hour east of Fredericksburg. Is that
Yeah.
close?
Yeah.
Semi-close, Brian?
I live close. I live just north of Fredericksburg, so I'm probably about an hour from them then. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad then.
Yeah.
There is enough fat in the burger to do fried eggs. Oh yeah, that's amazing. And then the big thing now that's kind of I've been seeing is getting like a lot of popularity, which is kind of, a British thing, but the Scotch eggs. I've been seeing a lot of people making Scotch eggs now. So Cindy just answered you in the chat, but yes, that would be Two Crazy Ketos. That would be Joe and Rachel. They do a lot of recipe videos aside from just speaking about their way of eating. So definitely go ahead and check them out. I'm sure you'll really love and appreciate their content. Michael, good
Yes.
evening. Missed the start. Got to rewind. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hey,
Hello,
Michael.
Michael.
All right, so now that we're at a kind of catch-up point in the chat and we do have a good attendance going right now, that way nobody is missing your introduction, Brian. So for anyone that is not aware of who you are within the chat, why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel?
Okay. So I started the carnivore diet in July of 2022, the beginning of July. So I guess that puts me like 16 months, I think, or something like that on carnivore. Before doing carnivore, I had a lot of arthritis pain, joint pain, back pain. Um, I had like mild depression, didn't have a lot of energy, didn't really feel like doing things. I got diagnosed with AFib, atrial fibrillation, back in 2018, and that's where your heartbeat starts racing. So, it goes from like a normal beat to like really fast, and then back to normal, and then really fast, and so forth. Um, so I got diagnosed with that in 2018, and I was at the point in, I guess that was 2022, that I was having a couple episodes a week with AFib. There was one time that I couldn't get out of it on my own, and they had to shock my heart back into rhythm.
Wow.
Um, so I was on medication for it, blood thinner to reduce the risk of stroke, that kind of thing. And I would say very quickly into the carnivore diet, I noticed that I wasn't having any AFib episodes anymore. So I'm now like around 14, 15 months or so without an AFib episode. And so
Amazing.
this is going to be premiered right here, right now on your channel, on your live, because I was going to do a video that's going to go out tomorrow, but everybody's going to see this right now. I went to the
Yay.
cardiologist this morning, and as of this morning, I am no longer on AFib medication, no longer on the blood
Oh my
thinner.
gosh.
So yes,
Congratulations.
thank you.
That's
That's
awesome.
a pretty big deal for me. Um,
That's a big
so
deal
he's really
for
happy,
sure.
yeah, he's really happy with the progress, the weight loss that I've
Wow.
had. He likes where my triglycerides are. They're like 107 or 108, I think it is. HDL is okay. It's improved from where it used to be. So he's pretty happy with those numbers. And, the fact that I haven't had any episodes. So not only that, I used to go like every 6 months to the cardiologist to get checked out and all that. And I don't have to go again for another year now. And at that point, I'm going to be like 3 years or so from the last time I had a stress test. So he wants to do another stress test to compare, see how I'm doing. He thinks I'm probably going to be in better shape than I was the last stress test a couple years ago. So that's great news, and it just premiered right here. So congratulations.
That is
That is awesome,
amazing. And
Brian.
thank you so much. We definitely feel honored that you are sharing that. Um, but it can't get any better than that. And I think that's the most amazing thing about each and every one of our journeys is all the non-scale victories, because that
Mhm.
is a huge non-scale victory.
It is.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and
I used to, go ahead.
I was gonna say I've lost quite a bit of weight. I think I've lost like 80 pounds or 85 pounds, something like that. Or maybe it was actually at 90 pounds now that I think about it. I can't remember exactly. I gotta look at the number. But I've lost quite a bit of weight, but the non-scale things just outweigh things, like the AFib episodes, that's life-changing for me, not having any AFib.
Absolutely.
Um, the arthritis is all gone. My feet used to swell up really bad, and it would be like a week or two that I could barely walk, and that doesn't happen anymore. I don't have the joint pain. I can kind of recreate joint pain if I slip up and I have like peanut butter or something that I shouldn't have. I can
Yeah.
get like pain in the wrist or something like that, but that goes away pretty quickly after I realize that I did something I shouldn't eat. And so that's all gone. I feel like doing things. I have a lot of energy and I'm happier. I don't have any depression anymore or any of that stuff. So, um, there's just so many non-scale things that have just been
Mhm.
huge. And to me, that is better than the weight loss. Obviously, I needed to, I had body fat, and and
Exactly right.
I still have a lot of body fat that I need to lose. But the health thing is just, it far outweighs everything else.
It sure does.
Amen. I could not agree more because it's great, to see that fat loss number, absolutely. But if it does not happen, but you have all these other victories and you're able to be in tune enough with your body to realize them, that is huge because a lot of people they get discouraged. starting this way of eating because they don't see, the scale budging. And when they don't
Hmm.
see the scale budging, they say, "Oh, this is not working for me. I'm going to give up." But are you taking into account? Are you measuring? Are you tracking inches? Um, what pains did you have before? Are they reducing? They might not disappear right away. Some of us, we've experienced instant, pain-free. Uh, but everyone's going to be different. But then again, some of the things they start diminishing, they start reducing.
Mm.
So I absolutely love, whenever we have someone that comes on and they're mentioning the non-scale victories and the non-scale victories being so huge, like that, it's just what more encouragement can someone get than
Yeah,
this way of eating working for something, as detrimental health-wise, like what you were going through.
right. I used to get
Yeah.
spells of tachycardia, which is a rapid heart rate,
Mm.
and it would go like 200 beats a minute for a minute or two before it would calm down. I'd take a few deep breaths and just sit quietly, and it would calm down, and it would be. But man, when it was going, it was like my heart was going to pop right out of my chest. It was just crazy.
It's scary,
Yeah.
yeah. I can imagine it to be very scary. Wow. So here we have Running Top 12 asking, what is your fave seafood?
For me, I would have to say it's crab legs. And I just last week I visited my youngest daughter in South Carolina. She goes to Coastal Carolina University, and so we went down there for the week. And let me tell you that they have the calabash buffets down there, the all you can
Oh,
eat.
wow.
So it was great because they have crab legs and prime rib, and then like there was one place we went to, they also had some kind of uh, like steak tips or whatever, right? But so you can fill up on just the prime rib and the crab legs, and everybody else is over there eating all the sides and stuff. And I'm like, nope, I'm sticking with my plan here. So
Yep.
crab
Yeah,
legs are definitely my seafood, though.
that and a big thing of butter. What more could you ask
Mm,
for? That is definitely where
yeah.
it's at. Does not make you feel deprived at all. That is good eats right there. So here Brenda's asking, awesome. Hey Brian, did you convert your cardiologist to carnivore?
No, so the funny thing is he doesn't know that I'm eating carnivore. Um, so he knows I'm doing low carb, but he doesn't know it's carnivore.
Oh,
And
okay. Yes.
um, he actually had kind of originally recommended the Mediterranean diet, but I told him that I went low carb, and he's like, "Yeah, just be careful with that," you know. I was like, "Okay," but as
Oh,
he's
just tell him
seen,
you went carnivore.
Did he tell you like what his fears were about low carb when you mentioned low carb to him, or he just kind of left it
um,
as like a blanket statement?
yeah, he didn't really go into it, but I got the feeling that he feels that you should have a more well-rounded diet, which is what, they tell you, and the company he works for is gonna tell him to
Mm,
talk a certain way. So
right. Yeah.
um so yeah, but as he's seen me lose weight and everything, he definitely is not against the low carb. But I didn't want to go even further down the rabbit hole and be like, yeah, I'm actually only eating meat, and mostly really red meat, because like every day I have a steak pretty much. So I didn't feel like telling him that. But the funny thing is, so somebody else I know went to the hospital a few weeks back, and I was there for a day or two with them, and their the menu at the hospital,
Oh.
they
Mhm.
they had they had the heart menu or whatever that they had to do, the cardiac menu, and the cardiac menu says right on it, it is low fat and low sodium.
Yep.
um, and that's just crazy, but it's what you have to do because it's the government guidelines, and they're getting funding from the government, so that's what they have to do. But then the funny thing about it is you could actually have sugar. You could actually order sugar packets.
Yep.
So you could have sugar. You could have salad dressings that have seed oils in them on the cardiac diet, but you can't have salt, which we know isn't really the problem. And
Right.
you have to have a lean, low-fat diet. So the guidelines in the United States are just backwards, and that's kind of sad to see. Um, so I don't know. It's depressing, but I just wish more people would
Mhm.
realize and stand up and say like, yeah, this isn't right. And maybe if enough people stood up, then maybe we could change some things. I know it's going to be kind of hard because
Right.
it's about the money and
Hmm.
the pharmaceuticals that they don't want you to necessarily be that healthy because they want you to be healthy by treating you, not to do it naturally, right? Because if you're not
Exactly.
buying the medications and so forth, then they're not making money. So,
Yeah, and if you're healthy, you don't need to go to the doctor either, except
mhm.
maybe once a year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. It's like my husband just went for his checkup with his endocrinologist, and they do an A1C check because he goes every 3 months. He's a type 1 diabetic. His last A1C, and I didn't tell you this, Sana, this was yesterday. His last A1C 3 months ago was 6.6,
Yeah.
6.1
Oh, wow.
in
Oh my
3 months for
gosh.
a type 1 diabetic. He
That's
wants to get
huge.
in the normal range. He
Yeah,
wants
that is
to. He's
huge.
trying. And she
Mhm.
Wow.
freaks out. She's like, "Oh, it shouldn't be that, it's like 3 months ago, she said, I don't want you going any lower. And he's
Mm,
like, well, I'm going to. I'm
yeah,
determined.
right.
And yesterday she was like, well, whatever.
Yeah, because it's proving how much control he has
Mhm.
over it is
Right.
what that lowering of that number means.
Yep.
Uh,
And
of
he
course, he's
was
going to want
so
to achieve better
excited.
numbers.
He
Yeah,
was so,
absolutely.
so
I
excited.
don't blame him
Yeah.
because that's huge, especially for type 1.
Mhm.
For type 1, victories like that are rare. So he needs to celebrate in all kind of ways because that's
Oh,
huge
he
right
was
there.
so excited when we left there. It was like, whew,
Wow. No, congratulations to him. That's
another
amazing.
Brian. Brian.
Yes. For anyone that does not know, Cindy's husband is also Brian.
Yeah.
Twin
And
Maples
seen my
is saying,
videos. You've seen them on them periodically.
I kind of took a little sneak further down in the chat. So
Mhm.
this would be arthritis. Getting rid of arthritis is huge. That is my test for when the bad stuff sneaks in.
Yep.
Yes, because, think of it, when we're having our body have an adverse reaction, a negative reaction, negative side effect, it's the inflammation that's giving us all that aches and pain, all that water retention that our body is taking on. That's why anyone that has like an off plan day or what some call slip ups or cheat day and they go on the scale, they're showing a substantial gain on the scale, not because that is necessarily all fat coming on, that is the retention of water. So yeah, it's definitely going to cause a lot of aches and pains to retain all of that water. Brenda's also sharing peanut butter also gets her as well.
I love
And
peanut butter.
I
I
All
do
the
love
too. It
that
time.
just
that
doesn't bug
combo
me.
also. Peanut butter and
It doesn't,
chocolate is what she loves too.
you know, sadly, I'm not, sadly, maybe nothing bothers me. Nothing.
Mm.
It's like, I don't know. I don't know if it's good or bad.
Twin Maples took me 5 months to get rid of arthritis. That is, I mean, 5 months could be considered a long time, but think of how long you probably suffered with the arthritis. So to get rid of it in just 5 months, that is huge right there.
Yes.
Brenda's sharing, my daughter wants me to do the Mediterranean also. I'm getting a lot of pressure. The thing is, whatever way of eating you're on, as long as you're not having any stalls as far as the way you're feeling, because like for me, I switched to carnivore in January after 4 years keto. I only made a switch because keto started hindering me. It started causing me issues. So I had to make a change because that was best for me, best for my body. So definitely, I mean, just like Brian is sharing, carnivore's working for him. He's having huge victories with carnivore. So even with him, he had the pressure from his doctor, just like you're having with your daughter. Do what is best for you. Really, truly. I know it's difficult, in comparison of a family member, in comparison to a doctor, because doctors, a lot of times we only see them like yearly, at most sometimes, but do what is best for you, Brenda. Don't feel like you have to take any pressure from anybody. I know it's easier said than done sometimes, but most definitely, if you're feeling great with whatever way of eating you are, keep on keeping on.
Yep.
Good grief, they are trying to kill us.
The
Yes.
hospital stuff. Yeah.
Yes. And I can vouch for that because I did spend a week admitted in the hospital in the month of May. I do have a content video because I'm not going to get into exactly what um, led me to being in the hospital, but very much like Brian is saying, because imagine with me being on carnivore, I got excited because when I saw the menu and I saw they had the option for grilled items, like burger patties, and they had like grilled chicken that did not have like any seasonings on it because you would have had to specifically ask for the seasoning and the sauce. Um, I was discouraged because when I called them, they had a limit on the grilled items. So when it came to a burger patty, you were only allowed to get one burger patty.
Mm.
And that was all you were allowed to choose was just one burger patty. And that was basically what your meal was. You could not add like a burger patty and then add a piece of chicken. No, when it came to the protein, you were only allowed just one. When it came to boiled eggs, same situation, only one. But when it came to the carbs, I was able to order if I wanted to. There was no limit on bags of chips. There was no limits on cookies, sodas, um, any of the carb stuff like pancakes, waffles, French toast. They would have gave me endless amounts.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, really? Like, this is what my diet is. And I'm going to tell you right now, when they ran my blood work, at the hospital, and they said, "Wow, how what do you eat? What does that look like?" And I did not care because I'm the type like I will just flat out tell you. So I flat out told them, I said, "I do a carnivore way of eating," and they were just like, "You do what?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm on a meat-based way of eating." I said, "Oh, okay." And I said, yeah, I said, I haven't reintroduced any dairy. I've just been eating meat. I do incorporate butter because at that time I did not reintroduce dairy. It was actually my stay at the hospital just to get enough fat in. I was having cheese, but they were mind blown. And when I tell you, they said the way of eating probably saved my life for what I was going through that I shared on that video a snippet of my discharge paperwork because they specifically put for me to continue what my pre-admission diet was because they were just mind blown. They said, "Wow, like your numbers are the most amazing blood work numbers we've ever seen." For what you're going through. And they said that for what you're going through, some of your levels should have been wonky, but they're not. Um, so it's sad because even though they're, getting that awakening, probably from some patients that they come across, still yet it's just like you said, with the doctor you see, the groups that they're part of, it's really hard for them to exactly do ethically what they probably personally want to do, because at the end of the day, they have a job they want to keep, they have income they want to keep, just like the rest of us. When we have employment, we think about the same things. British sharing, yeah, the cardiac menu's bad in the hospitals. Yeah,
It's not even just
absolutely.
the cardiac menu. The diabetic
All,
menu is
all
horrible.
of them.
You would think diabetics, don't give them sugar,
Yes.
do not give them sugar. My husband had gotten a bout of ketoacidosis. He was sick and he's on an insulin pump and it wound up coming out of his body
Ouch.
and his sugars wound up over 1,000.
Oh my
And he had
gosh.
ketoacidosis, which is so nothing to do with
Wow.
ketosis.
No.
And once he could eat, the crap that they were giving him, it was crazy. I said, no, what are you doing? And then he had cataract surgery just, not long ago. And when you come out of anesthesia, what do they want to give you? Crackers, graham crackers, or a
Yeah.
little granola bar. I brought my own
Mhm.
stuff for him. I brought some. I said, don't give him this garbage. He can have this if he
So
wants something.
sad.
I
Such
said,
a
no,
sad
he's not.
situation. Wow.
It's crazy. So it's not just the cardiac; it's all the menus in the hospital. They're just, but
Mm.
cardiac and diabetes and stuff. It's a sad state of affairs. Is
Yeah.
what this
It
is.
really is. It's sad.
You got it.
And
You have to stand up for yourself. You
you
got to.
have to.
I'm like you, Sana. I don't care because I will tell them straight up what I eat,
Yeah.
what I'm not going to eat,
Right.
no matter what. And that's it. If they don't like it, well, tough.
And that's
'Cause
the thing, like, I really put my foot down, like, especially when it came to, like, pain meds and stuff like that they wanted to give me. I told them, I said, "No." I said, "If we get to the point of, like, life or death, yeah, do what you gotta do, but at this point in time," I said, I don't remember ever taking a pain med." So I said, "Nope." I said, "Life or death, yeah, let's see about it, but at this point in time," I said, "No." So obviously, when it came to my way of eating, I was going to be just as adamant about it.
Mhm. I
So
follow it up with.
thankfully, I had my husband that was able, like you did, Cindy, for Brian. Thankfully,
Mhm.
my husband was able to bring food in because I would have been starving off of just like one burger patty or one piece of chicken. I'd have been
Yep.
so hungry. So he brought food in and they gave looks and I said, tough luck. I said, I need to eat, right? I said, "Or do you want me to be sick too because like I'm going days on end without eating and being
Mhm.
sick?" So yeah, for me, yeah, he was just bringing food in, but I feel sad for those that, they're wanting to stay committed to this way of eating. Something ends up happening. They have to be admitted in the hospital and they don't have anybody to bring
Mhm.
anything for them.
It's
It's
rough.
sad because the hospital, they don't care. Like for you saying, I have this particular way of eating, like this is what I need to have.
Mhm.
I even offered to pay for it. I said, I can pay. I said, like, I have my purse with me. Like, I can pay. Like, what is it going to cost? I said, can you just ring it up like I'm a guest and I'm not like the patient here? And they wouldn't do it. So imagine even someone willing to pay for it because I just wanted it. And for me, it
Mhm.
would have been more convenient to just do it that way instead of my husband having to cook something, bring it to the hospital. So they don't make it easy at all. Twin Maples is sharing love fresh tuna. We've been getting big eye tuna day off the boat. Oh, I am jealous. Sashimi. Oh, I wish we had. I've been on the hunt for like a sushi bar to have like fresh, but I have not seen the best of reviews for some in the area. But yeah, that is something definitely I would love to try, especially being on Carnivore. I see Nisha Berry, her and Dr. Berry, they hit up a place that they get really good quality. sashimi. So ever since months ago she had that video, oh, I've been wanting to just devour in some. Lynn is saying that's wonderful, Cindy. Go Brian. Yes, that is.
Yes.
Oh, it's amazing. Got rid of my type 2, wondering if I can get rid of metformin now. You never know. Everyone's body is going to be different. So I hear all kind of I can't speak from experience because I've not been on metformin, and of course none of us on this panel are healthcare professionals, so we can't speak on behalf of, personally, but just from hearing within the community, some have been different. Some have been able to cold turkey come off of medication. Some have had to taper. So basically, like their milligrams get reduced because their numbers are starting to improve only that much more. So they don't need as higher of a strength like they were on for a particular medication. So everyone will vary. But no, absolutely. We wish you all the best, give you positive vibes towards that because that is
I would say, I would
another one
say
of
to
the
that,
great.
I would say to that to keep a close eye on your blood sugar still
Mm,
and communicate with your doctor because metformin is known to lower your blood sugar. And if you're rid of your
right.
type 2, I would be having a serious discussion with the doctor.
No,
But yeah,
absolutely.
that's
But I know it's something everyone looks forward to is the possibility of not having to take the medications
right.
because, it's another one of those great non-scale victories. But definitely, just like Cindy said, definitely have that communication. And if you feel like you're not having proper communication, or if you feel like, your doctor's not cooperating, don't forget they work for us. You can
Mhm.
always get a second opinion. You have that right. Don't feel like you're stuck with any given doctor. Brenda's sharing that is so good for him. Yes, the seed oils are sneaky when we eat out. Lots of stuff are cooked in seed oils. Yes, and a lot of places, if you kind of just ask, I think it's like the approach you take in the way you ask, and just let them know. Because even for my family, even though I had to switch to carnivore, my family, my husband and my 2 kids, they are still keto to this day. So almost 5 years keto for them, and we had went out to eat over the weekend, and we asked, and we just gave the impression like there was an allergy, and we simply just asked, is there any sugar in the seasoning that you use? Possibly what oil is this cooked in? Or if something was a grilled item, we would ask, is the chicken or is like the steak, do you spray it with any oils? It's just one of those things, you have to ask. And if a restaurant wants your business, they would not mind adhering to whatever your allergy is. Just have that open communication because you are paying for the food. You're not going there asking for any sort of charity. Definitely ask. Don't feel bad to ask. It's just the approach you're taking when it comes to speaking to that waiter or waitress. No, not sadly,
When I
Cindy.
said sadly, nothing bothers me. So Brian, what are
Yeah.
your comments about all the comments here? All the comments that we've been going through.
Yeah, just going back to the last one, I guess, about eating out. I know Texas Roadhouse is really good for accommodating you. I know
Yes.
people that have gone there and said that they have a vegetable oil allergy and asked that they cook in butter, and they will do that. Um, I think that if you just tell them you have a seed oil allergy, they're going to be, a lot of times the waiters or waitresses are younger and they don't even know what you're talking about if you just say seed oil. So you probably got to say like vegetable oil or something like that. But I know they're very accommodating for that. Um, if you're into like chicken wings, Buffalo Wild Wings cooks their
Yes.
chicken wings in tallow. So that's a really good option of a place to go to.
Yep.
So, there's a few good places like that that I know that either will accommodate you well or they already do it, pretty well. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
hear that really often about Texas Roadhouse that they are very accommodating.
I think most any place would have to be. If you tell them you have an
Yeah,
allergy to whatever they're using, they're going to have to change that up because they're not going to want you to
right.
turn around and walk out. They want
Yeah.
your money, just
Exactly.
like the doctors do, the pharmaceutical companies. They're going to
Yeah.
accommodate you if they have any sense
I feel
and,
the
and
same
want to
way,
keep your
right?
business, even if
Yeah.
you don't have the allergy. And I've heard so many people say this. Just tell
Right.
them you have an allergy to the oils or
Hmm.
the seasonings or anything else, and just don't put it on there.
No,
Hmm.
exactly. Because that
Yeah.
that is my exact feeling. Mention allergy. Do not really mention my diet or anything like that because then they don't
They
take it
don't
as
care.
serious. No, they don't take it as serious. But as soon as you drop, I have an allergy, they will take that to heart and they would take that serious. And think of it like if you had a good experience, of course you're going to go back. Like that is going to be your go-to probably place because I'm sure all of us like that are on the proper human diet and we have those occasions where we don't want to cook. We want someone else to take care of the cooking. Um, we have our go-to places that make us feel welcome, that are going to be accommodating of us, and that's repeat business for them. So
Yep.
don't feel afraid to ask because then finding out which restaurants are accommodating and welcoming in that way, you'll know where your go-to places are at that point. So it's almost kind of like you're accumulating a list for yourself as well. But no, those are really good ones when it comes to Texas Roadhouse and Buffalo Wild Wings. Show her the results and how you feel when you get any of the Mediterranean is not all skill victories. Yeah, because even, the Mediterranean diet, it's kind of up there with one of those trending type of diets and way of eating. Does it work for some? Yeah, but then again, I hear some that it's worked short period of time for and no longer works for. Um, so no, absolutely. Here, Cindy is mentioning about her stomach of steel. So yeah, Twin Brook Acres is saying I fired a doctor that told me to get on more meds. And I applaud you for that because a lot of people, they feel bad to switch their doctor. But no, I mean, if you don't like what that doctor is telling you, um, and it's becoming a problem, visit after visit. Thankfully, your doctor is kind of giving you like a little bit of a caution is what he's trying to do.
Hmm.
But, thankfully it's not forceful, like, oh, you have to do things this way. Um, but yeah, something like this told me to get on more meds. That is kind of your doctor trying to put their foot down to just pushing the meds on you. And yeah, that is definitely a point where I don't blame you for wanting to change.
Yeah, I think that it should be a partnership with your doctor and they should
Yes.
listen to you as much as you're listening to them. So,
Very true.
It's
Very
like
true.
it's like Dr. Barry says, and like Sana just said a little while ago. They work for you. You don't work for them.
Yeah,
You don't
very
have to
much.
go to them, but they have to see you if you're coming in.
mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just crazy.
Because for me, I used to have to, and this is the funny thing too, because I used to manage a very big medical group. And funny enough, when I did the medical billing and coding for these doctors, I had to go in and I had to fix their reports for like the plan of care that they had in place for the patients because a lot of times they would put like a one word in or they would put like a few words in. They would just say, still has diabetes. You can't just have your notes be 3 words. That is not a note. That is, like they're trying to make like a short-ended statement. And that's the thing, when it comes to even the insurance companies, they want to see that the doctors are like very involved in what is basically considered like the plan of care they're putting in place for you. But the problem is the insurance and they don't care basically if the doctor is just, stuffing these reports with, this person's still sick, visit after visit after visit. They don't care. And that's the sad part of it. They care what the doctor's report looks like, but what's actually in it, constantly having to pay out. And you would think that for an insurance company, they would not want to pay out all these claims. They would expect for this person to start to get a little bit better, but no. So it's crazy. When you see the back end of it, it's really sad. Order delivery to the hospital freaks them out. I wish I had the option, but because of pandemic times is what I'll call it, because I don't want to drop the C word and get us flagged. But because of the pandemic, there is a lot of like strict rules at the hospital. So I was able to have a family member bring something in, but to kind of have like somebody private, I would say, like a anywhere delivery wise, they did not allow for it. I even asked like, "Oh, can it just be dropped off at security or something and the nurse go and get it?" They would not allow for it. Maybe some hospitals might, but no, the one that I was at, they would not allow it, unfortunately.
I would have just said, fine, I'm not eating then.
And that's the thing, I'm someone that can extend it fast, but at that time, I
You
could not
needed your,
because I needed the food,
right.
I needed to be able to heal and stuff like that. So it was a sticky situation I was in.
This sounds good, Twin Maples. And what is your
Yes.
name? That's my thing. I want to know
Yes,
people's
Twin
names.
Maples. Yes, if you don't mind sharing your name with us, just your first name. That way we can definitely put a name to your handle name because you've been very active in the chat, which we definitely appreciate. Thank you so
Yes.
much. But yes, I have chuck ice steak under the broiler. Once they're done, frozen shrimp get dumped on top. And that surf and turf combo, I agree with Cindy, is absolutely delicious. I know you mentioned your favorite seafood, Brian. Do you incorporate a lot of seafood with your carnivore
Um,
way of eating?
not usually, no. Occasionally I'll have seafood. I'll have either crab legs or shrimp, maybe even sometimes salmon, but not a lot. And even really when it comes to meat other than beef, I don't have a lot of. Like I like chicken wings, so I'll do chicken wings. I'll air fry them and use butter and Redmond salt. But
Mm, yeah.
um, other than that, I tend to eat a lot of beef. Bacon too, I guess. That's not really beef, that's pork, but yeah. There was a comment when we were talking about Texas Roadhouse. D. Lee, I think, had a comment in there. You probably haven't gotten to it yet, but while I'm thinking of it, I just wanted to go back to that. They
See.
said, "Great to know, Brian. I've been wanting to go there." There's another tip I actually have for Texas Roadhouse that I got from somebody else.
Ah, here.
Uh,
Yes, it's further down here. Yep.
yeah, there you go. So like if you go there and you order a steak, you typically get like a salad and a side, right? Well, at
Mm,
Texas Roadhouse, they put egg in their salad, so you can say For the salad, I just want the egg. I don't want anything else, including the dressing. And they'll bring you a bowl of egg. And then for the side, you can say you want a fully loaded baked potato without the potato and without the green scallions or whatever they are.
Right. Yeah.
So you'll get basically sour cream, butter, and cheese and bacon, and you mix that in the bowl with the egg, and that's your side dish with your steak.
I have not done it with the egg. That's a really good idea, but I've done like the toppings for what would be for the loaded potato, and what I
Hmm
did was I like smeared it on my steak, which was like
hmm
amazing. But that's really good. That's a good idea about the egg. I had not even thought of that. Do you
Yeah.
do any you have any insider tips, Cindy, over there for anything like that?
On what's I was
When
looking
it
up your
comes to
video.
the
Sorry.
what when it comes to like the special ordering for like
Really,
ideas
no. I
like
mean, we just Brian and I, when we go out, it's like we'll go to Red Lobster for the unlimited shrimp, and we just as long as we don't get anything breaded, like the scampi is in garlic butter, the skewers are just plain, but we do get loaded broccoli instead of loaded potato, or we'll get a side salad if I choose to eat it, but just no croutons and things like that. Just the normal. If we get to go to McDonald's or Burger King, we get the burgers without the
Mhm.
bun, without the ketchup, and nobody has ever been a problem. Nobody has given us any issues about it. In fact, our waiter, we always ask for the same guy at Red Lobster, and he is so good. He knows don't bring those biscuits to the table.
That's
And
what
we
I was
both
going to
drink
ask. Like,
diet
how can you
soda.
avoid
He
the
knows
biscuits?
to bring those. What, Brian?
I was going to ask, how do you avoid the biscuits? But as long as they're not at the table, you're probably good.
It's like I came home one day and I made some with almond flour,
Mhm.
and they were every bit as good
Yep. Yeah.
and way healthier. So it's like, why would I want to do that when I know it's going to hurt me in some way, shape, or form when I can
Mhm.
make them myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But any restaurant we go to, well, other than fast food, because you're just ordering no bun, but it's like, please don't bring the bread because I have a serious weakness for it, and I probably would eat it. And they're really good. Now, if they would offer us something in return, like here's a little extra food because we're not eating these dozen of biscuits.
Mhm. And I can attest for that because I've made those keto version ones also
They're good.
numerous times the 4 years on keto that I was on. And I actually have them on the menu for Thanksgiving for my husband and my kids. But yeah, they, just like you're saying, I think they actually taste a lot better because you have, the cheesiness of the mozzarella cheese that adds a little bit of extra to it.
Yep,
So it's more so like a cheesy, bready kind of flavor. So they're really good. They're good. I can
they
definitely attest
definitely
to
are.
that. Here, Lynn is sharing there's that class action lawsuit against the makers of Ensure because it's just a sugar shake. Finally, I hope they stop selling that stuff. Push on senior citizens way too much and everyone else. Yes.
Good.
And Dr. Barry actually shared that on his Facebook page for the link for the class action lawsuit. And yeah, and the sad thing was, because I've always worked in the medical field, and sad enough, there were free coupons, like a big, large pad of free coupons for Insure that was being brought in to all the offices because they did not care. If they basically gave you one for free, it didn't matter to them because if somebody was drinking it, they're tasting, that sugary taste and they're like, "Oh, let me read the label." And then they're thinking, "Oh, this is good for me. And it tastes good. Oh yeah, I'm gonna keep buying this. I got it free this time, but I will for sure buy this because it tastes good." They get hooked on it. So for that company to give one free coupon, they see it as a way to hook people in. Arden sharing, setting down with some fried eggs and bacon fat. That is sounding really good right now. I have not had dinner as of yet, so that sounds amazing. Have either of you, Brian, Cindy, have you had dinner as of yet?
Nope.
I did.
What did you
Um,
have?
so I had a chuck roast that was slow cooked in the crock pot pretty much all day. So I had that just a little bit before we went on live. So yeah.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Here, Gail popped in when I had to jump down to that other comment. So welcome, Gail. Happy Friday. Not my brother-in-law. And where was that?
She was talking about
Prefers to keep his
yeah.
diabetes and take the metformin instead of eating better. It and that's when it gets sad. When it's family and Cindy has shared this before on a live before. But it's sad, when you're having such great results and you wish you could save, all the family members around you. But then again, it's like you can only do so much. Um, and a lot of times, sometimes we could just try and lead by example and just hope one day things, will get to a safe rock bottom for them to ask us, you know what? I need to make some changes. What were you talking about that time you tried to convince me to eat the way you do? Um, but it's really sad when you see family suffering.
Yep. And it's sad and it's aggravating when they don't want to
Mhm.
listen.
Yeah.
That's it's ridiculous.
Mike sharing Texas Roadhouse prime rib, so good. Yes, I've had their prime rib before. Have either of you had their prime rib?
Nope.
Yeah, it's good.
Nope.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is so good. Are you not a fan of prime rib, Cindy?
I just haven't ordered it.
Oh,
We
it
don't
is
go there
so
often.
good.
There's a different steakhouse here in Richmond that we go to when we do. It's Logan's Roadhouse. And they have really good steaks.
I've
We haven't
heard
been
of it,
there in a
but I
long
don't
time.
think we have one here, but I've heard of them before. I would have to see
The
if there's
first time
any
we
anywhere
ever
in
went
Florida.
there, first time we went there, it was right after we moved here.
Hmm.
And first thing at the table were these rolls that oh, they look so good. And the worst part was they tasted good because yes, I had one. And oh my
Oh,
God.
no.
Then we had to tell them no more. Do not bring those to the table because they are deadly. Whew, they were good.
Yeah, but the primer is really good. I know even Joe from Two Crazy Ketos, that is what he mentions. His go-to is the prime rib.
Mhm.
Yes, because it is that good. Wish we had one here. Thankfully,
Texas
we
Roadhouse.
just got one, a Texas Roadhouse. I want to say they've been there for probably like 2 years now. But yeah, we were without one as well. There's one in Omaha about an hour away. Yeah, it's definitely, I would say it's worth, the every once in a while drive. If you want to take that trip and, kind of make a trip out of it and have that convenience, it's really good. I have not heard that about Buffalo Wild Wings. Cool.
Yes.
Yes, about them frying in the beef tallow.
Mm.
I did see, I don't remember if it was on Facebook, but I know they had mentioned some of them were going to be stepping away from frying in the beef tallow. I hope not, because just in my opinion, that's a really bad business move because a lot of people definitely go there for that primary reason because they fry in the beef tallow because you definitely taste the difference. I definitely taste the difference. I don't know about you both, Brian and Cindy, but do you taste the difference between like having like fried chicken wings and then tasting the fried and beef tallow?
Mm.
I really can't. I
For me,
can't
I
tell the difference in
definitely
the different
did.
oils.
It
So
I
you're
was
just
saying fried as in like with
fried in
vegetable
like a
oil?
wine oil, yes.
See, I don't know because I haven't ate it that way in so long. I don't know. It's been probably a couple
I
years.
had not either, but for me, I can just remember just you were able to actually taste when something was fried in vegetable oil. It had that taste to it. And for me, I think just the Buffalo Wild Wings frying in that beef tallow, it really had just like a clean taste to it. It's really like you did not have any aftertaste like you get with vegetable oil. So for me, I
Mm.
enjoyed it more because you really were savoring the chicken wings and not having, this aftertaste that like something like vegetable oil gives off.
See, I
So
don't
for
get
me,
that. I I don't get that. But I have had them at Buffalo Wild Wings, and they're really good.
yeah.
But like when we go back to New Hampshire, we go to this diner, and they have the best chicken wings, and I have no idea what they cook them in. All I know is they taste good. So
Oh wow.
Yeah, the other thing with Buffalo Wild Wings that I do sometimes is I get the sauce on the side, and that way
Oh, okay.
I'm being careful about how much sugar I'm getting that might
Right.
be in the sauce because some of their sauces are pretty sugary, so you have to stay away from some of them too. But if you get it on the side, then you just dip it
Mm,
in. That way you're not because like sometimes they'll bring it out to you and there's just sauce all over the wings, and
yes.
depending on how good that sauce is, what they made it with,
Right.
it's might not be the best in the world. So
what you got to do is just bring a little dish of your own,
yeah.
like the G uses sauces or yes.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people do that, like especially when they say like no seasoning and then they're bringing their own Redmond salts with them. So
Hmm.
I do it.
I I do it too. I do it too. Like
I
literally
have
in like
Redmond salt in my purse.
in my purse I have Redmond salts, and then for my husband and kids that are on keto, I actually have the sweetener packets because what they'll get is they'll get a they have like those water flavorings that would not have any sweetener in it, and they'll add the sweetener themselves. So yeah, we do it because it's like we're bringing it in ourselves. Who's going to tell us what?
Mhm.
But this is really cool. There is one in Lubbock, and that is a fun place. They've expanded it, and now it's the world's biggest Texas Roadhouse. I'm gonna
Nice.
actually, yeah, I'm gonna Google that and look it up because that's interesting for it being the world's biggest Texas Roadhouse. Because even the one we have here it's a substantial size. Like they can fit a great deal amount of people in there. So I can't imagine a world's biggest. Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Have either of you heard of this location?
No,
Mm. I've never been in Texas before, so I don't.
I've been to Austin. I'm going again, but and I've been to Dallas, but I haven't been to Lubbock.
You might have to take the drive and do that content for us, Cindy.
Well, we'll see how far of a drive it is. Debbie and I are going to Hack Your Health by KetoCon again this year.
Oh, very cool.
And I saw Dr. Chafee's going to be there.
Yeah, Dr. Chavy's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't met him yet.
Yep, there's one about an hour from me. That's unfortunate that some of you have a great distance from Texas Roadhouse because it definitely is a really good option for those that want to take a break from
Mhm.
cooking. Simpson Johns, hi all. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. We have many just saying hello. Fellow
We're
Iowan,
way
how
back
you
there.
doing? Mike, yes. Iowa in the house. So it looks like Indianapolis and Iowa took over the chat tonight. So here, Donna sharing, I finally made an appointment to see Dr. Hampton. I can't believe I just said that. So blessed to be able to do that March appointment. I want to work on my meds with him, metabolic health. Yes, we did have an interview with Dr. Tony Hampton. I personally, I was super excited because I've been following him for so many years. So to have him on with us was
Mhm.
just amazing and super exciting. And I wish, I wish I was in the Chicago area to take him on as a doctor because, doctors like him and Dr. Ken Berry and the many others like Dr. Chafe in the community, it is hard to find a doctor that would be so on board like they are when it comes to the proper human diet. So I'm excited for you and definitely report back how that first appointment goes because we just know it's going to go amazing. He is just wholeheartedly just amazing person, and I'm sure same way he's going to be that professionally as a doctor as well. So we're super excited for you.
He is just as nice in person too.
Yes,
When I
Cindy
got to
got the
meet
chance
him
to
at
meet him.
Keto
Yes.
oh, that was like the week after our live with him. So that was great.
Yes. This was a comment I skipped to, so that's why we're a little far behind. So I'm backtracking right now. So at least we're having a pinpoint of where
I
we're at.
saw this. This is unbelievable.
The doctor was going to pump up the metformin from 500 mg to 2,000 twice a day. My goodness. Wow. Wow.
Again, keep a close eye on your blood sugars.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That is. And, what exactly is the doctor basing that off on? Because personally, I share our story of why we started keto was for our oldest son because he was getting seizures. They could not find out why he was getting seizures. But then again, even though they did not have a diagnosis, that did not stop the doctor from wanting to give him medication and having him take 6 pills of this particular medication. So it's like, really? You want my child to take 6 pills a day, but you would not even explain what is the diagnosis for why you're giving this medication. So you really have to be number one, you have to be your own advocate. Um, and like we said, don't feel afraid to get a second opinion because for me, I honestly, it's not going to phase me to go doctor shopping if I have to. If I have to see how many doctors to find that right one, we have to think about it. It's going to be worth it because this is your life, this is your health.
Mhm.
Have either of you experienced something like that when it comes to the medication being pushed on you? I know, Brian, you touched on that a little bit.
Yeah, so my funny thing, my personal doctor, um, not was it this? No, it wasn't this time, but the blood work the time before, so like 6, 7 months ago. My LDL wasn't that bad. It was like 102 or something like that. And he asked me, so when you go to a cardiologist, the cardiologist is kind of in charge, and the family doctor is just kind of, well, what does the cardiologist think, right? But he's like,
Right.
has the cardiologist said anything to you about going on a statin? And I'm like, nope, and I'm not going to.
Wow.
But it's like the even if you think LDL is a problem, um, the range goes to 100, and it was 102. It's like, if
Wow.
that is your first thought isn't how can we take care of this naturally first before medication, then that's probably not a good thing, and you probably want to find a new doctor. In my case, that doctor is actually moving, so I do have to find a new doctor anyway.
Oh
Um,
gosh,
but
wow.
but
Um,
that's the one experience I had, I guess, with it.
yeah, my cardiologist the same way, and it was with a statin. And my chart states that I'm allergic to statins. and he still wanted to prescribe it to me.
I know
I
there's
just
a
told him no.
directory. I'm gonna have to see if I can I know the one on Dr. Barry's no longer works, but I'm gonna see because I think it was Dr. Kiltz that had one. Um, but there's a resource that you can see if there is a proper human diet friendly doctor. And I
Yeah, I
believe
looked.
the link that worked, I think it was Dr. Kiltz. You
Yeah,
said that you did look.
I looked those up. The closest one is like an hour from me. So
Mm,
I think I'm just gonna find a doctor that's, you know, willing to work with me somewhat, even if they don't completely agree with low carb. So
Is this your primary
yeah.
doctor that you got to find a new one, or your
yeah,
cardiologist?
no, my primary doctor, my cardiologist is still here, so that's good.
Yeah,
Um,
my
yeah.
primary doctor just stopped taking my insurance, so
Oh,
I had to
gosh.
find a different one, and I found this office that has like 4 APRNs in it. I'm like, I'm good with that. I don't care. And I was very clear with them, just like I was with him two
Mm,
years ago. I do keto. I've lost 100 pounds.
yeah.
I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I'm no longer on blood pressure medicine, and I'm not going to change the way I eat. And that was it. Boom, 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 right out the gate. Didn't
Mm.
care.
Yeah.
I know some that are adamant, at telling their doctor, especially a new
Mhm.
doctor, because you have to, form that relationship initially. Some they just say, "Oh yeah, I'm keeping away from sugar and bread." They kind of just give just like a vague understanding to the doctor of like what they're doing with their way of eating. They don't, put out like keto or carnivore or any of that, terms out there. So I know some say that that kind of helps them because they're in situations where they're on a particular insurance and that doctor they see is basically the only doctor in a particular radius that takes their insurance. So it's kind of like they almost have to play, devil's advocate with it and kind of get off in that way. I don't have bread, I don't have sugar, and see how the doctor reacts. Yeah, but it's tricky, especially like you're saying, sometimes the distance, it's not possible.
Yeah.
But Twin Maples will. So very nice to meet you, Will.
Yes. And I wrote it on my list here.
So Mike's saying kind of crazy, but my friends call me Mike. So is Mike really your name then? So I don't know how to take that. Is that implying that there's another name? Gail is sharing a year ago, my knee would be purple right now and swollen up. Oh, this was a reference about falling off a horse. So we are wishing you like a speedy recovery because
No,
I'm
she had
sure that
fallen
was
prior to that. She had fallen
scary.
more recently.
More
She
recently,
said it was
yes.
worse than the fall from the
The
horse.
fall, yes. Oh my goodness, that's a scary experience right there. Today you can barely see the bruising and there was no swelling at all. Oh gosh. So it sounds like you're on the mend. Wow. I've been a chef slash ran my own catering business. Oh, wow. I
Nice.
can definitely, with all that mentioning of all that smoking and amazing cooking that you're doing, I am not surprised.
You can cater to Richmond, Kentucky.
I know, right?
Mhm.
We will gladly take any deliveries and we will promote you. Pro tip, everyone to Texas Roadhouse, right? With all that mentioning, all that name dropping of Texas Roadhouse, they could throw
We
some
should be getting
steaks our
paid by
way.
them.
Even if we had to get paid in steak, I will take even that. That is great, Brian. I'm gonna remember that. Unlimited scampi shrimp. Yes. Yes, because Cindy even has a short sharing that unlimited shrimp, and
Every week,
yeah,
once a
it
week we
looked
go.
amazing. So here, Simpson's also asking, we shouldn't call you Mike. Oh my gosh, those are awesome tips. Thank you, Brian. Yes, especially with adding the egg to the loaded potato toppings. I definitely have to try that. Oh yeah, Mike, it is. Funny, but a lot of people call me Mike Shaw like it's one name. Okay. Yes, because I just separate and just say Mike, but I can see how somebody would go in with the whole Mike Shaw. As long as they don't call you Mr. TV. All right, let's see. You
Mr.
guys are
TV.
making me very hungry. I haven't eaten yet today. Unusual. So, are you intermittent fasting? Are you experimenting with it as far as it being unusual, or the day just kind of happened to go that way unusually? But I agree because I am getting hungry as well because I have not eaten yet. I put a 15/20 pound primer in the smoker, pull it at 122 Fahrenheit. Oh my goodness. You are bringing on all like the yummy goodness. Wow. Now we're all going to wish we are going to that Friendsgiving. Logan's is good. They have them in Arizona for sure. Yeah, I don't know where. I know I've heard of them. I don't know if it's just somewhere on like maybe one of the keto or carnivore groups that it was shared about Logan's, but I'm gonna have to look it up. But
They're
I've
very
definitely
good.
heard of them. Did you reply to this one here,
I
Cindy?
did
Okay.
long time ago.
There are a few Texas Roadhouse locations of Richmond, Virginia. Best BBQ in Richmond is ZZQ, Real Texas Barbecue, and they do crazy good beef. Yeah. When it comes to Texas, yes, I definitely hear that they take their barbecuing very seriously. I know, Brian, you said that you have not been to Texas as of yet. Cindy, you have been before. Are you familiar with this place at all?
No. No, I'm not.
Oh, this place is in Richmond,
That's in
Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah, it's just called Texas Barbecue, whatever.
Oh,
Texas
they're
Roadhouse
located there. So
locations.
it's a Texas place. So are
Mm.
the people, are they from Texas is what I wonder,
No, it's
that
got to
Mm,
do
run
with
I
the
don't
it.
know.
Texas Roadhouse location. And said the best barbecue in Richmond, Virginia is ZZQ. It's real Texas barbecue.
But the place is called ZZQ, right? The barbecue place
Yeah,
Right.
I think so.
In Virginia.
in Virginia. Yes, that's what I'm referring to. I've never heard of that place before.
No.
Have either of you heard of that?
Nope. And we
That's a
have a
No,
good
I
first for
haven't.
barbecue
me.
place here
It's probably
in
a local
Richmond.
place. Yeah, it's probably a local restaurant.
Yeah, we have a
Yeah.
good barbecue
But as
place
far
right
as it
down the
being
road.
like a Texas one, they take their barbecuing really seriously. So if it is like authentic to the way Texas is very proud of the way they do their barbecue, I'm sure Virginia is definitely feeling blessed to have them. I process my own tallow from a local farmer who sells bulk fat. Yes, because there is I absolutely love tallow. Do either of you use tallow very much? I use it to actually fry my chicken wings at home.
I don't actually. I usually just use bacon fat or butter.
Mainly bacon, fat, and butter, but I did get some tallow, and you won't even want to know why. It's the keto chow core mixed with the tallow is like a chocolate icing from a donut.
Oh
So
wow.
good. It's really good.
We have a Texas Roadhouse a mile down the road, but I've never been there. This group has given me the idea that I am missing something. Definitely give them a try. And, just like Brian had mentioned, don't be afraid to let them know when it comes to the oils, for them to just kind of keep it away, keep it off.
They
I'm
also have
sorry.
They also have steaks that you can choose your own steak too. Like when you get there or whatever, and they're gonna seat you. They have the
Hmm.
different steaks there, so you don't have to do that option. You can just order normal, or you can actually choose your own steak there that they have. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, one day I always say that I'm gonna do that, but I always end up just, whatever they bring me. But one day I figure I'm gonna just go up to that glass and just pick out what I want. Travel size Redmond salt. Yes, absolutely. I don't have like their because they do sell like that little travel size like little container. I have my own container because yeah, that little travel size one, yeah, I will be done with it in no time. I make my own tallow also. That's really cool. I have not ventured as far as making my own. I do purchase it already made. I have 5 quarts of tallow on the counter by the stove. Oh my gosh. We really wish we lived close to you with all that yummy goodness that you got going on. Dallas to Lubbock is 350 miles.
That's just a
Cindy,
long way.
yeah. We're
All
not
right,
getting that content video.
Donna,
Well, it's
757.
because I know I had to jump to that one comment, so that's why I'm playing catch up right
I
now.
know 757. Will's comment is funny as
Yeah, let me go in order because the jumping is what's getting us behind.
yeah.
Love
We're at an
Austin.
hour and a half though, so keep that in mind. We gotta
No,
get
absolutely.
through 'em.
Love Austin. Go to Salt Lake for the BBQ. That sounds really good. Mike's son lives in Austin. All my exes live in Texas. Applied Material Semiconductor firm based there. Fun song, Mike. Yes. And he says, and true. My carnivore brother lives in Texas. That's awesome that you have someone in the family that's doing this way of eating. Cindy sharing one of my exes living in Texas, now deceased.
I didn't do it
Will's
either.
referring to the doctor that I fired. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful weekend. Will is sharing my ex is in Richmond, Virginia. We are in northern neck of Virginia and loving life. No, you can definitely tell that you are definitely enjoying life over there. That's amazing. If the doctor okay with keto, they will usually tolerate carnivore. They will keep the blood test up. Yes, that is definitely what they did with me. They kept up with the blood work and then they were like, yeah, you're good for annually now. Had to serve the shrimp. What did I miss? Us catching up with the chat. My friends call me Chase. Oh, okay, that's good to know. We'll definitely take note of that.
Hello, Chase.
Richmond, Kentucky. Think I have been there when I was training for driving a truck. Oh, very cool. Fun problem. Hoping to drop enough weight to lose my Santa gigs. That's funny. Well, ate a couple dogs this morning and a couple chomps, but no good meal yet. I think burgers and eggs for dinner. Yeah, that sounds good. That's a really good combo. I really like those the chomps meat sticks. Have either of you tried them?
Absolutely.
Mm-mm, I have not.
Oh, you
They're really
have to
good,
try them.
Brian.
They are good. Once you have that first experience with them, you will definitely keep buying them. Has anyone lost their taste for hamburger or any other thing considered carnivore? Yesterday, I ended up giving my burgers to the dog. Why don't you answer that first, Brian? When it comes to hamburger or like ground beef?
I haven't had any issues with ground beef or anything, but I used to eat eggs a lot more, and I don't really have the taste for them that much anymore. So I don't eat
Okay.
them that often, but that's been the only thing. Um, I eat a lot of steak, and thankfully, I haven't gotten sick of steak because I love steak.
That
So
would stink if you did.
yeah, I'll eat ribeye, chuck, prime rib, New York strip. I'll eat, any of those
Mm,
really. So yeah, eggs would be the only thing for me that I still eat them.
yeah.
I just, and I don't know if it's so much the taste is just, I don't know, bored with them, I guess. Maybe I ate too many eggs early on or something. I don't know. So that's it.
And that's the thing. I think like the variety, like when you get bored of something, there are so many other variety when it comes to meat in general, so many different cuts of meat, different cooking methods. So definitely experiment because even if it's a thing about cost, when it comes to doing ground beef or hamburgers, there are other cuts of meat. You might just have to do them in different cooking methods, like slow cooking when it comes to the tougher cuts, but definitely venture out to different cuts when you kind of get that, feeling of you're just tired and bored of the same thing over and over again. What about you, Cindy?
I no, not ever tired of meat or eggs or any of that. It was like if I get that tired of food, I just don't eat.
Mm,
It's like
yeah,
that's the only thing. If it usually, and Dr. Berry will say that, and I'm like, "Ugh. If you don't want to eat, if you don't want steak or you don't want hamburger, you're not hungry. Just don't eat."
right. Yeah, because it's like your body's telling you you can go without. But for me, I did 60 days of what is called triple B and E. I could not do bacon because I'm allergic to pig, but it was very much the same. So doing beef, butter, and egg, just switch it up is really what I did. That is what kept it sustainable for me for 60 days, and that's what keeps me on carnivore to this day is keep switching it up. The owner is from Texas. Oh, okay, he
Yeah.
started ZZQ and has knocked the locals out of the park. I bet. Wow. I don't think I will ever get tired of burgers. Yeah, I agree. I mentioned on one of my content videos I could eat burger all the time. It's that good. Awesome idea, Cindy. Bulk fat is great because it can go very high heat and not burn after you process it down to tallow. Yes, that's definitely the benefit of it. I'm going to play around with some tallow and unsweetened cocoa. That sounds like a really good combo. If I weren't trying to edit at the same time, I'd be in all three chats. Thank you so much for being here, Gail. We appreciate it. Even with you just being in one chat, you being here, period, is amazing. We appreciate it. I never really
Yes.
cared for steak. Now I do. My taste buds must be getting more expensive in their cravings. LOL. Is there a certain cut that you've been favoring, Brian, more so than any other cuts?
Um, Ribeye is definitely my favorite.
Oh,
It's
yes.
just that it's it's pretty expensive. But so I go to Costco a lot, and
Mm.
lately they've been having sales on the New York strip slabs where you can
Right.
cut them up yourself. So I've
Yeah.
been eating that a lot more, and I'll just add some butter to it, so it's got a little more fat content to it. But yeah, if I could ribeye, I would eat ribeye all the time. It's just I can't afford to eat it all the time.
No, I hear you. What about you, Cindy? Because we're pretty
I
much at the end of the chat now.
prefer the New York strip over ribeye
Oh,
with some
okay.
added butter. Yes,
Is
absolutely.
there a particular reason why? Is it flavor wise
I
or?
think it's, I get to the point with a ribeye, there's just a little too much fat in it
Oh,
for my
okay.
taste. And I just,
Yeah.
I'd rather add the butter to the New York
Mm.
strip. And yeah, I like
Yeah.
that
I
much
think
better.
I think the New York strip is a little bit tender too, a little more tender than the ribeye. So that might be
It's
part of it.
delicious. It's
Yeah, we
delicious.
had splurge on one of the ribeye slabs from Costco and just, cut it ourselves into 1-inch cuts. But I agree, like the New York strip steak, and I had told my husband, like, let's try it out one day. But it is like substantially cheaper for that
Hmm.
that slab. And,
There's that too.
that's the thing. Like when it's a substantial difference per pound and you're still getting, that much quantity of meat. Um, it's kind of like a sacrifice you're willing to take because, like Brian mentioned, you're just adding the butter to it. to be able to get that fattiness. But for me, my favorite would be air fried ribeye because of all that fattiness. When you air fry it, the fat tastes amazing.
I bet.
So that's why
It's
that would
like
be one of my favorites.
that'd be like air frying pork belly.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
That
Because of
If
is
that
you
fat.
so good.
if you've got cast iron, you can also season your cast iron with bacon fat and cook
Yep.
it that way. And New York strip, ribeye, whatever, it tastes so good that way with the bacon fat.
Yes, I've been on the lookout for a nice cast iron and I cannot make up my mind because there's so many reviews out there
Yeah.
that it's just hard which one to settle on. But Simpson's also mentioning I also, which is why the burger tasting horrible wasn't a good thing. My husband said it was good. Oh, so right up here, I never really care for steak. Now I do. My taste buds must be changing. So that was the addition onto that.
Yep.
But yeah, it's very common because there are many that their tastes just change. There's some that they don't even incorporate chicken into their proper human diet because chicken does not taste the same way, or some get negative adverse side effects from chicken. They get inflammation from it, and these are things they never noticed before. So even though it's very much part of a proper human diet, they were able to do their own, self experimenting to see that it's just something they can incorporate. In the beginning, I preferred the New York strip with butter, but now I like more fat, so I like chuck and ribeye. Chuck is a good one. That is a really good one. Cindy
I
was
haven't had a
sharing
chuck steak, but I've had the chuck roast.
the chuck roast. Oh my goodness. The chuck steaks, they're not so bad. Definitely, like it was mentioned, doing like the broiler method is a good way because it could definitely, with the chuck steaks, it could be tough, if you let it be. But yeah, when it comes to the chuck roast, oh, that is fatty goodness, just like ribeye, and the price is definitely worth it. All right, so we are a little bit over. So we're at 1 hour and 41 minutes. So we definitely want to respect and appreciate Brian's time, as well as everyone else in the chat as well, because it is a Friday night. And one of the best things about feeling our best on a proper human diet is being able to go out there, live our very best life, and have those memories with our family that, when we were not feeling our best, we had limitations. So we definitely don't want to hold anyone back. We have a few others coming in here with comment. I did my chuck steak sous vide for 28 hours and tossed some on the grill last night. Sounds amazing. Yesterday, I put a chuck roast in the air fryer and it was awesome. I have not tried the air fryer yet. Have either of you done sous vide or
The
chuck
chuck
roast in
roast.
the air fryer?
No.
I've done sous vide. It's really good. It's really tender that way, which, if you know that chuck can tend to be pretty tough if it's not. So either you slow cook it in like a crock pot or
Mm,
something like that, or like Carnivore Quest. Cassie's got the recipe that I think you were talking
Yeah.
about, where
I
you
love
start
it.
it in the.
It's so good.
Yeah, I did it that way once before. It was really good. So those are the kinds of things you have to do with the chuck, or else
yeah.
it's too tough. But I've definitely done sous vide, and it's pretty good that way.
Yeah, just like Cindy mentioned here, that she does not have one. I don't have one either. And yes, I do hear a lot about it and just, the amazing quality that it's giving, especially when it comes to the tougher cuts. It's definitely allowing people to get a lot of bang for their buck for those cheaper, uh, c- tougher cuts of meat. So
Right.
it sounds like a good investment. Right now, I don't know if I can take on another kitchen gadget right now because
Yeah,
I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to have a storage problem.
I have the air fryer Power XL, I think it's called, and it has a sous
Okay.
vide option to it. So I just use that.
Oh,
And there's a video that somebody made where they showed how you can do because you put the meat in like a. So if you don't have the actual equipment to do the sealing, the plastic sealing, whatever they call that, where they seal it, you can actually put it in a Ziploc bag and you slowly put it into the water so that you
Oh,
let the air
okay.
out, and that's how you get it to seal really good. So that's how I've done it. It works pretty well.
Very, very cool. So Will sharing, great chatting with you tonight. Yes, thank you so much for being here. Talk to Kip about the cast iron pans. Yes, I'm familiar with Kip. I've actually been following Kip prior to him even having like 20 subs. So for me to be following him from such a long beginning to seeing what he's grown into now, I definitely know about him and the cast iron pans and his great knowledge on it. I have also seen his videos regarding the review of different cast iron pans, the cleaning of the cast iron pan, and I think that's also kind of what threw a wrench in me wanting to find a good one. I sliced it really thin and it was like a deli beef. That sounds really good. And all these ideas are definitely great because it's definitely going to help others that are adamant when it comes to this way of eating. There's always a cooking method out there. There's always a way of getting it done where we can purchase those cheaper cuts and still have them coming out delicious. It's just depend on the cooking method that you're using. You have to use freezer bags. The regular storage bags are too flimsy. I agree. Yeah, I can definitely see that. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for being here. We definitely understand that you all could be doing and spending your Friday night in any other way, but the fact that you spent a little chunk of your Friday night to join us, we definitely absolutely appreciate it. And
Yes.
definitely scroll up in the chat because you will see the link that Cindy shared with everyone. If you are not familiar with Brian, if you're not subscribed to him, please go ahead and show him some love in the form of a subscription. He will definitely appreciate it, and we will appreciate the support coming his way as well. But thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Until the next one, take care, everyone. Enjoy your evening.
Good night.